Bill 2024 has passed through committee with amendments. Madam Speaker, I move that the bill entitled Crown Lands Management Bill 2024 be read a third time and passed as amended.
Madam Speaker, I rise to second the motion.
Thank you. Honorable members, it has been moved and seconded that the bill entitled Crown Lands Management Bill 2024 be now read a third time and passed as amended. Those in favor?
Aye.
Those against? The ayes have it. The motion is passed. I call upon the clerk to read the bill a third time.
This bill shall be cited as the Crown Land Management Bill 2024.
The bill has now been read a third time and passed with amendments. I call upon the Premier.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I move a motion to amend the order paper to add another item under public business, government business. Should be Roman numeral number 3. And this will be a resolution for our dearly departed brother, the late Vernon Malone, to lie in state on Thursday, which is the 22nd day of June. I'm sorry, that would be the 20th day of June, to lie in state and to have an official funeral on the 22nd day of June. Repeat, Madam Speaker, I'm moving a motion to amend the order paper to add a resolution that the 20th day of June 2024, a dearly departed brother, Vernon Malone, will lie in state and the official funeral will be held on the 22nd day of June 2024. Madam Speaker, I so move.
Madam Speaker, I rise to second the motion.
Thank you. Honorable members, the motion has been moved and seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Those against? The ayes have it. The motion is passed. I call on the Premier.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, whereas the House of Assembly received the sad news of the untimely death of Mr. Vernon E. Malone, QPM, LLB, the first Commissioner of the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force from 1992 to 2002, and a former territorial at-large representative, which occurred on Saturday, the 4th of May. My apologies, Madam Speaker, I'll go again. Whereas the House of Assembly received the sad news of the untimely death of Mr. Vernon E. Malone, QPM, LLB, the first local commissioner of the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force from 1992 to 2002, and a former territorial at-large representative, which occurred on Saturday, the 4th May 2024. Whereas the late Mr. Vernon Malone, QPM, LLB, was first elected to this Honorable House in August 2007 as territorial member and served until November 2011. Whereas during his tenure, he served as backbencher in the first House of Assembly of the Virgin Islands. Whereas all deceased former members of the Legislative Council and the House of Assembly of the Virgin Islands have lain in the chamber of the House of Assembly. Now therefore be it resolved that the House of Assembly continues this long-standing and well-established tradition and custom of recognizing the contributions and service of deceased former members, and be it further resolved that the House of Assembly of the Virgin Islands approves that the late Mr. Vernon E. Malone, QPM, LLB, in honor of his many contributions in the territory, will lie in state on the 20th day of June 2024 at the House of Assembly Chambers, Road Town, Tortola, and will be given an official funeral on the 22nd day of June 2024. Madam Speaker, and be it further resolved that the House of Assembly of the Virgin Islands also places on record its sincere gratitude and appreciation and extends heartfelt condolences to the family and friends of all who loved the former legislator, the late Mr. Vernon E. Malone, QPM, LLB. Madam Speaker, it is a well-established tradition that when members of this House pass, that we as members of the House would, in the House of Assembly, give contributions, recognizing the service of that fallen member or former member. I have had to do this on a few different occasions in my young political career. Since I've been in this position, we have buried former legislator Calvin Malone. We've also buried former legislator Louis Walters. And now, this coming, yes, and we also did it for our first Premier, Ralph O'Neill. And now this coming weekend, we will bury Vernon Malone, who is one of the great Virgin Islanders that we have been privileged to have make sterling contributions to this territory of the Virgin Islands. Madam Speaker, we share a number of similarities. The late Vernon Malone, let's start with the family connection. It would be his grandfather, John Malone, and my great-grandfather, William Malone, were brothers. And of course, he's a part of a close-knit Malone family hailing from the East. He's a long-look man and very proud of his long-look roots, even though, of course, he had moved to Bruce Bay with his wife and family. He was a school teacher. Of course, back in those days, those individuals who were particularly sharp would become pupil teachers. And he would have had the support of my grandfather, Willard Wheatley, in those endeavors. And he had a very close relationship with my grandfather, that every time I would speak to him, he would remind me of. And he cherished my grandfather, and they formed a very close personal relationship. As we know, and he has been extolled for on a number of occasions, he was our first local police commissioner. And something that we could certainly be proud of. And since then, I think since then we've only had maybe one or two others. So now we have Reynald Fraser, local police commissioners. But he certainly blazed the trail in proving that we could have our own police commissioner, something that we should remind our people of, that we could have our own police commissioner who could thrive leading the force. And he did a very good job as local police commissioner, as our local police commissioner. And of course, he's known for prioritizing education, making sure that the members of the force equip themselves and qualify themselves to advance in the force. So he got to be the commissioner, but he didn't kick down the ladder behind him. He made sure that others got their qualifications to be able to excel as a member of the force. We know very well that after serving as the police commissioner for 10 years, that he became an attorney at law and did well there as well, having his own practice. And we also would know not too long after going into that practice, he went into electoral politics, and similar to myself, was a part of, or similar to myself, was a part of the Virgin Islands Party, a party for which I'm currently the chairman. And he ran successfully in 2007. And while as a member of the House of Assembly, everyone would know that he would always take a principled stand. And sometimes, of course, that principled stand would not be in line with his government. But without fear or favor, he would represent the interests of the people of the Virgin Islands. He was fearless in that way. And of course, he was prepared to deal with the consequences. And certainly there were sometimes consequences when he went against the grain. But we know that the people in the community appreciated him for being able to take a principled stance. And we know that he fought for many things, quite a number of very positive initiatives between 2007 and 2011. I also want to talk about Vernon Malone as a family man. We all would know that he was with his wife, Isis Malone, for it had to be 40, 50 years, something like that. 53 years, I'm being told. Which is amazing partnership. And I want to take this opportunity to offer to my good friend, Sister Isis, and to their son, Malcolm, along with Brother Malone's siblings, nieces and nephews, and the whole extended family. I would like to express my sincere condolences on behalf of myself and the government and people of the Virgin Islands. I know that it is a very difficult experience to lose a loved one, someone who's close to you, to lose a father, to lose a husband, and all the other relations. But certainly, we know it's a road that one day we will all walk, and as we all have to go through the circumstances of either burying a loved one or our loved ones burying us, we have to have grace and compassion, and we have to have a shoulder for those who grieve to lean on, because certainly it is not something that is easy to deal with. And so certainly I will do all that I can to ensure that Brother Malone is given his just due and that he has a good send-off and that he is properly recognized for his contributions to these Virgin Islands as a great Virgin Islander, Madam Speaker. And, you know, we will remember him for all he contributed to these Virgin Islands. We will ensure that the young people who are coming up will know his name and know the trail that he blazed on their behalf, and that will ensure that the school children, that they can study about these great Virgin Islanders in school. Just weekend before last, we planted a tree at Long Bay Beef Island in recognition of Vernon Malone, along with other prominent members of the community of the 7th and the 8th District. So we will ensure that in that way and in other ways, we will remember him. Madam Speaker, I won't speak too long because the night is fast spent, and we've spent many Crown Lands Management Bill. We worked very hard, and I'm grateful to all those who contributed to the successful process we just engaged in committee stage. But I know that persons are tired after having gone through this bill to be able to pass it today. And therefore, Madam Speaker, I know that others will give their contributions on our late brother Vernon Malone on tomorrow. Tomorrow, Madam Speaker, I will be traveling, so I won't be here for the session. So I wanted to be able to give my contribution on this resolution tonight, and I'm grateful, Madam Speaker, that you have provided me the opportunity to do so. Madam Speaker, May the soul of our late brother, Vernon Malone, rest in eternal peace. And I celebrate him as a great Virgin Islander. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Is there a second? Thank you. Honorable members, the floor is now open for debate. However, we will take the recess until tomorrow when members are able to contribute at that time. So we'll take the recess and return tomorrow, June 18th at 12 p.m.